Welcome to all of you for this yet another session on Big Data Certification. This is very exciting sessions where we are going to discuss about how you can crack different sort of certifications. I'm pretty sure that when you will be doing the training or when you are learning this Big Data, Apache Spark and all, okay, there are some certifications which are going to help me to upgrade my career. Now, how it is helping you to upgrade? What is that exam all about? What is the importance of that exam? Is it only for a job or is it for something else also helpful? All those things we are going to uncover today. In the last, we are also going to see how Edureka can help you in cracking all those certifications easily. Most of the students who have done the training from Edureka, they have successfully cracked these certifications, and how you will be listening about their success, how they have got their success. So what is the path they have followed to get all that? That all we are also going to cover. Interesting session, right? So let's start. So first thing is, let's talk a little bit brief about big data. Now, if we talk about big data, in the last 5 years, the data have grown exponentially. In fact, it's always said that every 2 years, data is getting doubled. So whatever data we used to have in 2014, 2015, we have doubled the amount of data in 2016 and 17. So you can imagine what would be the situation in 2018, 19, or if we talk about 2020, we will be dealing with massive amount of data, and you can imagine the growth of the data with this. Not only the growth of the data, with growth of the data, even jobs are coming into market, right? So that's very interesting point, which is always there. With the growth of the data, there is always a job demand which is going to pitch in, and that is what is all of our interest, right? Now, so if we see this operation, like in 2013, we have almost a very small amount of data. In 2016, you can see it has grown like exponentially. So this is a huge increment in the data what we have. In terms of jobs also, if you notice, from 2012, I'm not talking about like very old kind of job trend. I'm talking about very lately job trend. If you notice this graph, we have three popular positions. One is Hadoop developer, second is Hadoop administrator, third is Hadoop architect. When we say Hadoop developer, it's kind of like, you know, MapReduce, Hive, how to play with Scoop, how to get the data, how you can automate your job using Uzi, all those things you should be knowing. Talking about Hadoop administrator, this is again a tough role where we generally talk about how you can design your cluster, how you will be configuring name node, data node, resource manager, yarn, everything related to that we will be doing with respect to Hadoop administrator. The last part, Hadoop architect. This is kind of very famous these days. Why? Because it is a kind of combination of all the technologies domain. So you talk about Apache Spark, you talk about Hadoop, you talk about Cassandra, lot of things, whatever things which are getting used with big data environment, it is a kind of combination of everything. If we look at the job trend for this, from 2012, we have almost 250% increase in job and Hadoop developer. If we talk about Hadoop administrator, we have again around the same number, 245%. That's actually a huge jump. If we talk about Hadoop architect, we have around 300%. That's obvious because these days companies are demanding for people who are good architects, who have a mix-up of knowledge of all these domains. That's the reason it's obvious when we see this percentage, 300% for this. And this is just a starting phase. We will see that this is just engine have just kind of started getting warmed up. It's not like that everything is done. It is just getting warmed up right now, and you will notice in 2020, if I will be comparing with 2012, maybe this percentage will go around 1000%. So it's not only data which is going exponentially, it's also job which is also going exponentially. So that is why this Hadoop is very hot topic right now in the market. What are the technologies, major technologies which are in demand? We can talk about Hadoop administration, Apache Spark, which this Apache Spark in fact is very highly in demand. That's the reason this architect is pushing up. Kafka, which is used to like pull up the data and all, and it's fault tolerant as well. MongoDB, Cassandra, these are the things which are kind of related to NoSQL DBs, getting the data, storing it. Data science, which is very hot right now in the market because of like a lot of machine learning. I have a huge amount of data, how I can make sense out of the data. All those things is a part of data science portion. Informatica talent, these are ETL tools for big data, very important. Hadoop developers. This is something which is always a starting point when you start working in the big data environment. Now, what are these big data certification? How this can be helpful for me, right? Is it really going to be helpful, or I'm just listening this Hadoop certification term just for the name purpose, right? So let's understand what exactly this is. When we talk about Hadoop certification, it's kind of, if you are certified in big data in field, it reflects that you have a very good knowledge in big data domain. So you're kind of telling to the whole world that I have a good knowledge in big data domain. You need not prove it to anyone. You have already proven it by giving a certification exam by a renowned institute, and that is what this is telling. It helps you to be a kind of recognized person in the industry. And let me tell you a major advantage by my own personal experience. I myself hire a lot of people in this big data domain. And whenever I see in someone's CV that he is big data certified, 50% I almost make up my mind, I'm going to hire this person. This itself reflects the power of all these certifications, because that guy need not prove me that how good he is in big data domain. He have already proven it by giving that exam, and that exam I cannot question it now, because that exam is really good enough to kind of check your capabilities in all the domains. In fact, they will be judging you better than my interview. So that's the reason I kind of 50% take of mind that I'm going to hire this person. 50% maybe remaining things, how good in programming and all those sides. Those are the separate story. But yeah, if he is done, then definitely he have an added advantage. I hope I'm able to motivate you towards the certification with this. And this is usually happens not only with me, but mostly with all the hiring people from different organizations. Question from Quinn. Thank you. Now, talking about some benefits about this big data certification. What are the advantages? What are the benefits? What I'm going to gain if I crack this big data certification? Definitely, you will be putting in your resume. That's the first thing you will do. Maybe you will go to your LinkedIn profile and immediately say I'm a big data certified. Right? All those things are advantage for you. Definitely, it gives you more visibility in the job market. Definitely, it's not a surprise for me. With this certification, you can easily crack the interviews, as I just gave you an example, because it helps you with interview preparation. Because when you're preparing for Cloudera exam or Hortonworks exam, you are already getting prepared for interviews, right? So it is also helping you with that. So it kind of promotes your achievement. It is kind of telling to the world, I know something better than everyone. So this is what the advantage. A lot of people, when I take the sessions of this Apache Spark and Big Data, a lot of students come to me and say that, you know, I'm a fresher. Will this industry will be able to take me up? Will I have any advantage? Because I have generally seen that industry look for experienced people. I always recommend them go for certification and just see the difference. Even a person who will be sitting with 2 or 3 years of experience in big data domain, and your CV will go in somebody's hand, you may get a good advantage over that experienced guy. Because we have already proven to that company that you know big data. It's okay you don't have this experience, but this is going to definitely be helpful for you. This is always my answer. So definitely if you do that, it is going to be helpful. Question from Rohit. So interviewers do give value if I'm certified in big data, and it's there on my resume, a very good value. Not just a small value to talk about, it gives you a very good value. I will just give you an example. Like when we see any person who is a Cloudera certified, then we generally make up our mind that we are going to hire this person. 50% is a big number without even talking to that guy. So this is a general thing. So it is going to be a definitely very, very helpful scenario when you kind of apply for any company, when you go for any interviews in this domain. Now, let's talk about these certifications. What kind of certifications do we have? Now, there are multiple companies around there. Like one is Cloudera, one is Hortonworks, there is Databricks companies as well. Now, you may be thinking which certification I should opt for, right? That's a very obvious question. Now, what certification is good for me? My general suggestion would be go for Cloudera. It doesn't mean the other certifications are bad. They are equally good, but at the same time, Cloudera is one of the companies which is very much renowned. Everyone know about Cloudera. So that's the reason Cloudera is kind of more famous exam in comparison to other exams. But at the same time, even Hortonworks or Database certification are equally valuable. It's not like that they're not valuable. They are also valuable. Now, our focus would be on the Cloudera certification. I'm also going to talk about Hortonworks as well. But at the same time, since this Cloudera certification is carrying a good value, definitely if you know about it, it will be very good for you. So there are two kinds of exams. First exam is CCA exam. If you know this, you are kind of telling to the world that you know good stuff, all good. You are very good in this big data side. Even I myself CCA 175 certified. When it comes to CCP, it is mostly for professionals. When I say professional, it's a kind of advanced exam. Or you can say it's a mix-up exam. They have recently introduced this. It's a mix-up exam. Where what happens is that they will, like in CCA, they will be, let's say, only focusing on Hadoop and Spark. But in CCP, they will also be talking about, let's say, some other portions. Maybe they will be talking about PIG. They will also be introducing some analytic things. So they will be kind of adding up more topics to the CCP. So that's the reason we are calling it as an advanced exam. But actually, if you look at it, it's not like that it is a highly advanced exam. It's just that it will have more number of topics. So even if you are CCA certified, you are all good. But definitely if you are CCP, you have an added advantage because that's a kind of called as more advanced exam in this question. Let's explore all those. Let's explore that what exactly would be there. Can someone directly take CCP before CCA? Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Nobody is stopping you from doing that, Rohan. You can do that. That generally the trend is if usually people first give CCA and then go for CCP. But let me tell you from my own personal experience, I have even thought the same, that I will first of all go with CCA and then I will go for CCP. But later I changed my mind. With CCA itself, when I cracked it, I was all good in the industry. Means people were recognizing that very well. I did not, nobody even was asking me whether you are CCA or CCP. They were only looking at whether I am certified or not, right? So that way I changed up my mind and it was all going good with me. So similar trend, it's completely up to you whether you want to crack both or you are good with one. It's completely up to you. Let's talk about CCA. In CCA also we have three categories. One is Spark and Hadoop Developer, the most famous exam. In fact, this is what I am also certified in, and a lot of my students have also get certification in this. When we talk about Spark and Hadoop Developer certification, now it will be kind of asking for a knowledge about some part of Hadoop, some part of Apache Spark. So you need to have knowledge about both. I'm going to talk about topics what is being covered in this, but this is a very famous exam. It is called CCA 175. Okay, that's the number for it. CCA Data Analyst. This exam is mostly for like analysts. Now it will be kind of having PIG, Hive, whichever thing which is helping you kind of to do analytics. That is will be used in data analyst. In fact, it's little easier exam in comparison to CCA, Spark and Hadoop Developer, to be really open with you. Now, talking about the third exam, Cloudera Certified Administrator exam. This exam requires the skill set of that you should be knowing some sort of administration. You should know how to create a cluster. You should know how to deploy everything in your Hadoop cluster, starting from HDFS, PIG, Hive, how you can design it, how you can design high availability, all the things how you can ensure in this will be a part of Hadoop Administrator exam. This topic is not that easy in comparison to data analyst. So you can say Spark Hadoop Developer and this Hadoop Administration, they are equally kind of difficult. But yes, data analyst is little easier in comparison to both the exams because of the number of topics what are available there. Now let's talk about CCP exam. In CCP exam, the first exam would be Data Engineer exam, which will be talking about again a mix-up of, you can say, Hadoop and Spark Developer and Data Analyst. So it's a kind of mix-up part for both the things. We are going to uncover more things in detail later. Data Scientist is little complicated exam. In Data Scientist exam, you need to crack 3 exams. And trust me, they're not that simple. Okay, but Edureka will make that simple. Edureka can help you in making that simple, and we will understand that how Edureka is going to help you to make that part simple, how our students are succeeding in cracking all these exams so easily. That is what we are going to see now. Now, first of all, let's little bit explore more on this CCA exam. So let's talk about Spark and Hadoop Developer exam first. First of all, what are the prerequisites from this exam? if you go to Cloudera website, they say that it's not important, but if you know it, it's good. And they talk about Scala and Python. They talk about Linux command knowledge, and they talk about you should have a basic knowledge of SQL. But let me tell you, this is a must prerequisite. This is a must prerequisite before giving that exam. Because if you do not know Scala and Python, you will not be able to crack that exam. In CCA 175, there is no Java. It's only Scala and Python what they look for. Now you may ask me, is it like complicated Scala and Python? Is it like I need to go too much deep into it? No. It is very simple part, and that is what Edureka takes care of it. They teach you whatever is important part, whichever is like required to crack this exam. That's it. It's not like you should be an expert in these languages. You should know the basics in and out, how to apply this in Apache Spark or Hadoop environment. So that is what would be only required. Definitely Linux command is expected, because without that, how you will be doing some minor operations when you're working on simple some files and all, right? Because the exam is being conducted on the Linux environment. SQL you need to know, because there will be topics like Hive, Spark SQL. So definitely if you know those topics, so you will be good in SQL part. So these are the prerequisite part for this exam. What are the things what they look for? What are the required skill set? So let's talk about one by one. So let's talk about data in this space, where we kind of push the data from my RDBMS to SDFS, or from some other source to SDFS source, right? So this is the phase. What are the type of things they talk about? What are the things is important to know from the exam perspective? So definitely number one thing, you should know how to import or export the data from your MySQL DB into your HDFS. Now the tool what we use to do this is Scoop. If you do not know about this tool, do not worry about that. You will all learn it by, if you are like going for this course, you will anyway learn about all these things. You should know how to change the delimiter, file format of the data during when you are importing it by using Scoop. How you can ingest the real-time and near to real-time streaming data into SDFS, maybe by using Flume or maybe by using Spark streaming, right? That's also one thing which can be there. Now, loading the data into and out of the SDFS by using your HDFS commands itself. How you can do that by -get, -put. These are some commands using this, how you can play with it. So basically this is about how to get the data into SDFS, how to put the data into SDFS, how I can get it from different sources. What are the tools available which is going to help me to achieve that? This is called data ingest phase. Talking about transform, stage, and store, something like ETL. Now, in this, you should know how you can load the data from SDFS or store it back into SDFS or into the memory of your machine, which we are actually using at Spark, right? So, how you can join disparate data sets together by using Apache Spark, how you can calculate your aggregate statistics like average, sum, count by using Apache Spark, how you can filter the data. Again, this Apache Spark is actually quite used in that exam. So that's the reason you are seeing that how you can transform, stage, and store. This stage in that exam, what are the things you should know? What are your required skill set to achieve that? How you can crack that exam? What all knowledge you need to have? Talking about analysis, this will be mostly related to your Hive. Now, how to create or read the table from your Hive metastore, how you can convert to Avro format, Parquet format, how to read the data using Avro tools or whatever things we have available with. Okay, correct, Rohit. So it's a combination of Spark and Hadoop. So both things will be asked in that exam. Now, creating a table, okay, in your Hive metastore, how you can improve the performance. If your performance is very low in Hive query, usually partitioning, bucketing, how these concepts are helping you to kind of get a better performance. How you can evolve the Avro schema by changing your JSON file. All those things you should have the knowledge to achieve it. Now, this is very important. How many number of questions they ask? Usually it is 10, though they claim that 10 to 12. Usually it is 10. Second thing, the time what you get is 120 minutes to crack it. Passing scores is 70%. Means if there are 10 questions being asked, you need to crack 7 questions successfully. Okay. English will be the language, and the costing is around $295 US. Okay, so these are the things what you need to keep in mind in order to give that exam. So it's very important that when you sit for that exam, you should be fully prepared. Do not just sit just for the practice purpose, because it is costing you something, right? Now, Let's talk about CCA 500, which talks about administration part. Again, there are some prerequisites. You should know some Linux experience. You should know about HDFS. You should know like how HDFS daemons work, how you can create the cluster, what are the major goals of your HDFS design. Given a scenario, identify the appropriate use case for HDFS Federation. You should know first of all what is HDFS Federation and all, how you can set up your security of your HDFS, like by using Kerberos and all, how you can serialize, deserialize the data, how you can read or write the path of the things. So all these things you should know for the administration part. Talking about YAN, Cluster Resource Manager, you should know everything about it, how you can deploy that, how you can be using it with Spark, Impala, Hive, how you can use all that, how you will be deploying it, how you will be using it to deploy for MapReduce 2 program, version 2 program. You should understand the basic design strategy for this. You should know how YAN handles the resource allocation. All these things you should be aware of. Lot of it is everything related to YAN you should be aware of in order to crack this section. How you will be planning your cluster, how you will be creating cluster, how you will be choosing that which operating system is best for me. What are the principal points to consider when you choose any sort of operating system or the hardware, right? What all things which are important? What are your network topologies? What should be my disk size? What should be my RAM size? What should be my cluster sizing if I'm solving this much of size of problem? All these details you should know if you are cracking this administration part. Similarly, you need to know how to install the cluster, how you can administrate the cluster. It's not about only you can install, it's all good, right? You need to see what are the important things maybe after creating a cluster as well. How you can administer it, how you can restrict some usage, how you can apply your security. All those things you should know for this installation and administration. You should know how to set up all the daemons. You should know how to install, let's say, Impala, Flume, Uzi, Hue, Scoop, all these components of big data. You should know each and everything with respect to your installation part. You should be aware about resource management, how you will be managing your resource, what are the Hadoop schedulers, what is the overall design for this, what is FIFO scheduler queue, how the fair scheduling happens, if you are given a scenario, how you will be determining the capacity scheduler which allocates for Hadoop cluster. All these things you should be aware of. Monitoring and logging. If you notice this part, again here you need to understand the functions and features of Hadoop matrix collection. You should analyze the name node and resource manager web UIs. You should know how to understand to monitor cluster daemons, identifying and monitoring CPU usage, interpreting a log file. This is very important because let's say if you're getting some error, how from the log files you will be interpreting something out of it. Those all knowledge you need to have. Usually, they have themselves claimed it on their website. HDFS is almost around 17% of the questions. YAN almost 17% of the question. Cluster planning 16% of the question. Cluster installation around 25%. So as you can see, this is the major impact. Almost 1/4 of the exam covered that. Resource management almost 10%, and monitoring and logging will be 15% of it. How Hadoop developer and Hadoop administrator are different? Good question, sir. Now, when we talk about Hadoop developer, you need to know how to use the component. For example, how to work on Pig, how to work with Hive, how to work with Scoop, what these tools do, how I will be using this tool to solve my problem. When we talk about administration, we talk about how to give these tools to the user, how I can install all these things, how I can administrate all these things. So that is a separate thing. So Hadoop developer is for the usage part, while Hadoop administrator is for the installation part. Okay, that's at a very high level I'm differentiating. Question from Sebastian: is knowledge of developer side is also required to become an Hadoop admin? If you know it, it's good. If you know it, it's good, but it is not mandatory. So its distribution of question is fixed or its stage. Usually they will be fixed, right? Because I find similar topics like SDFS and YAN in both the blueprints, correct? Because there we are talking about usage of SDFS and YAN, right? That is a separate story. There we are not going to talk about how to install YAN. Hadoop developer will be not be talking about how to install YAN. But here we will be talking about how to install YAN, how to now administrator that YAN. So that's the reason you're seeing both the topics there, but the purpose of the topics are different. Because here we are talking about how to install, how to administer, and at the same time, on the other hand, we are talking about how to use it. We are assuming that it is already installed. How to use it, that is the difference between them. Very good question. Okay. Now, again, in terms of questions, there will be 60 questions. Okay. Time limit will be 90 minutes. Passing score again will be 70%. Language is going to be English, and the pricing is same $295 US. Talking about data analyst exam. Prerequisite, again, there's not much prerequisite as I say, but it's always good to know all these things. If you know, let's say, some sort of language, some scripting language like Ruby, Perl, Python, they will be helpful. If you know Linux commands, it's going to be helpful. Basic knowledge of SQL is definitely going to be helpful because you're going to use Hive and all. You should know, if we talk about structure of the data, you should know how to perform DDL queries because you will be creating different sort of tables with a variety of data types using different sort of delimiters like comma, colon, any sort of delimiter can be there. You will be creating a new table by using an existing table, okay? By defining the schema, you should know about that. How you can improve your query performance by creating, let's say, partition table. So it usually happens that you are creating a non-partition table, the performance is not going great. Then how partition table can help you, or how bucketing can help you to improve your performance. All those things you should be aware of. How you can enter the table to modify your existing schema. How you can create the views in order to simplify your queries. This knowledge, talking few more things. You should know all the query languages, like you should know how to perform select query. You should know how to perform the statistic like count, sum, average, all these functions. You should know how to perform join. You should know how to use built-in functions. You should know how to perform windowing functions. All these knowledge you should have. Again, as I said, it's an easy part. In fact, this is one of the most easiest exam in Cloudera. Again, there will be 10 questions usually. They claim to be 10 to 12. Time limit will be 120 minutes. Passing score will be 70%. Language will be English. Pricing will be same. How a developer and analyst different? In analyst, it is mostly considered on the analyst part like Hive and Pig. A developer is a vast course. They do not only talk about Hive. There is no Pig involved in the developer course. It's only Hive there. But when we talk about analyst, even the advanced concept you should be aware of. For example, windowing operation, bucketing operation, UDF, all these things you should be knowing. In developer, they will not go so deep into Hive, but here they will be going deep into Hive and Pig. It's a deep dive in Hive and Pig portion. So that will be a difference. But as you can see, for the analyst, the kind of content is less, because if you make yourself excellent in Pig and Hive, you will be all good with that exam. So whatever required for the analysis, you just need to know that. What kind of questions we will be expecting, like MCQ? No, it will be all subjective questions. They will give you a scenario, they will give you a data set, you need to solve that question. Earlier it used to be objective, now they have replaced it with all subjective questions now. Yeah, scenario based kind of thing. Very good, right? Are some practicals also involved? Yeah, I just answered. So it's all practical only. There will be no theoretical question. They're not going to ask you what is Hive. Okay, they will give you a scenario that this is my situation, so can you solve it? So these kind of problems they ask, because otherwise objective anybody can guess also and give the right answer. But if you are going to give the subjective, you cannot guess. Either you know it or you do not. So that's the reason they went for the subjective exam. And that is the reason companies are trusting on this certification, because they know that you do not have just the theoretical knowledge. You have, in fact, the practical knowledge of things by cracking this exam. Let's talk about CCP Data Engineer. Again, as I said, this is a little kind of a mix-up course, like analyst and developer. If you join, this becomes a CCP Data Engineer. You should know Scala and Python, Linux and SQL. Same sort of prerequisite for it. Now, when we talk about data in this space, same thing like what we have seen for the developer course. You should know Scoop, you should know Flume, you should get to know how to get the data. Same step for transform, state and store, no difference from there. Data analysis space, again same as we have seen in the developer and staff course. Workflow, now here comes the big part. Now, pig was not available when we were talking about developer course, but in this, it's a kind of now bringing up the pig part as well. You should know how to create a linear workflow with Hadoop jobs. You should know with Uzi how you can schedule pig jobs, hive jobs together. You should have all the knowledge about pig, how you can create custom actions, how you can play with UDF. All these things you should be knowing for it. Again, the same story. So you can see that this is a mix-up of the analyst exam and your Hadoop developer and Spark developer. So this is a kind of mix-up of both the things, and that's the reason the content have increased, but the question level is going to be same. Again, 10 questions, all subjective types. 120 minutes is the time limit. 70% is the passing score. Language is going to be English, and the pricing is going to be same, $295 US. CCP Data Scientist. I consider this course to be little complicated course, and there's a reason behind it. Let me tell you why. You need to know three things. First, you should know descriptive and interpolated statistics on big data. Second exam would be advanced analytical techniques on big data. Third exam will be machine learning at scale. There will be three exams, and you need to crack all the three exams. And the pricing is also at the little higher end, $600 per exam. Little higher end. But if you have, let's say, cracked only two exams, you are not able to crack the third exam, they will not even give you certification. So that's the challenge here. After spending so much of amount, if you're not able to crack even one exam, you will not be able to do it. But Edureka is there, so don't worry about it. They are helping you to cracking that exam as well. In fact, a lot of students have their success stories who have even cracked this exam successfully. So we will provide you all the parts how you can succeed in this exam as well. Though it is sounding little expensive as well as a difficult exam, but Edureka makes it simple for you. How? We will see that in some time. So let's first explore all the exam, and then we will see that what are the solutions available with us. Now, first thing, DS700. So what are the common skills required? So definitely in order to work on that, you should extract relevant features from a large data set that may contain bad records. Maybe you have corrupt data, how to deal with that. You have some data which do not keeps any value, how to deal with that. Partial records you have, errors you have, how to remove the noise. So that's first thing. Second thing is you extract the feature from the data, how you will be getting in the JSON format, XML format, how to play with raw text logs, all those things you should be aware of. When we talk about DS700, which is descriptive and interpolated statistics on big data, you should be using, or you should know how to use statistical text to determine the hypothesis. So first of all, you need to know all those terms, hypothesis and all that, right? Now you should know common summary statistics like mean, variance, count, standard deviation, all these counts. You should know all the distributions, how to fit the data on those distributions. Is my data normal distributed? Is it uniformly distributed? Is it my data skewed? All those things you should have. All the complex statistical computations you should know, how to compute UT value, which shows the significance of a data. All those knowledge you need to have. Talking about DS701, you need to know, it's a little advanced step than the previous one. You need to know how to build a model so that I can predict it later. So prediction we will do in machine learning part anyway. Then you should know how to group the data, how to include some numbers, size and characteristic, how to play with all those things. You should know how to evaluate the goodness of it, whether my model is good or bad, how to evaluate all that, how to apply all the advanced analytical techniques when we are working on, let's say, if I have some data which is like useful for graph analysis kind of thing, then how to play with that, all those things we need to know. This is the most complicated exam, machine learning at scale. When we talk about machine learning, what are the relevant features? Whatever model you have built, how to predict something out of it. This is very important feature. How to play with different algorithms like classification, regression, clustering. You should know all the algorithms. How you can improve the performance of all those algorithms. It's not like just knowing is enough. How to performance tune those algorithms. How you can validate whether your model is good or not. How your prediction is better or not. How to improvise on your prediction algorithms. All those things you should be aware in order to crack the exam. So in order to talk about, like, there should be a general data science part which you should know. Now, definitely from the theoretical perspective, machine learning, advanced knowledge, statistics, linear algebra, Engineering side, you need to know Python, Spark, and R. R is actually very famous these days because of this analytics. Question from Quinn: is it possible to clear this exam while working, because syllabus seems to be a bit lengthy? And to answer that, Quinn, 90% of the people who have cracked the certification exam from Edureka, they are working people only. So it's very easy to do that. That's what the reason I'm telling you. Edureka is making the life simple to crack all this certification exam. How? We are going to see that. This certification sounds really tough, Rohit. Don't worry, Edureka will make it simple for you. How? We will see that. We will give you the guidance how to do that. We will guide you across throughout the journey how to crack it. Our all the previous students who have cracked it is speaking about it, that how they were able to do it. So definitely when they can do it, why not you? There are a lot of students who have joined our courses without any knowledge, with zero knowledge. They do not know even the term what is big data, and they were able to crack the certification just within 1 or 2 months after completion of the course. You can see the power, right? And they are working people, right? So we are going to see how Edureka is helping you to achieve that, how those students are able to crack it, and how we can help the further students to also crack it. Now, Hortonworks. Let's talk about Hortonworks. Hortonworks have 5 exams. Each paper costs $250 US. Now, again, this is little cheaper. So they have Hadoop Certified Developer. Same thing like we have Hadoop Developer. They have Administrator exam. They have Apache Spark Developer. Can you see here? Hadoop Developer and Spark Developer. They are not mixing up. They are keeping it separate. While Cloudera is saying that you should have both the knowledge. They are not separating it up. They are keeping it combined. While Hortonworks have separated both the exams. Hortonworks Certified Java Developer, that's something which is related to Java. My suggestion would be, if you want to go for Java Developer, go for Oracle certification, because that gives more high value. Now, how to get for certification associate? This is a kind of combination of Spark and Hadoop Developer. So these are the things what Hortonworks looks for. Now, how Edureka is helping you to achieve all that? The most awaited question for all of us, right? Because we were looking for how this exam was looking good, but it is complicated. How Edureka will help me in order to solve all this exam easily, to crack all this exam easily. So Edureka have multiple trainings. For example, Big Data Hadoop Certification Training, Hadoop Administration Certification Training, Apache Spark Certification Training, Data Analyst with R Certification Training, Data Science Certification Training. I will be speaking about it in detail. Now, let's start with one of the certification, which is the very famous certification, Big Data Hadoop Certification. In this certification, though there is no prerequisite, so when we say no prerequisite, we really mean it that there is no prerequisite. Even a lot of students come to us and say that I do not know Java, I do not know anything in Scala, I do not have any knowledge how to work on Linux, and they go and crack the certification. So we take care of the things of, even if you do not know Java, we will teach you that, and that too free of cost. We will not ask you for any extra money that, okay, go, and definitely we will recommend you, if you go for Java course, then you will know much more in detail. But to crack that course, to know how to use that in our course, whatever knowledge is required, you will be learning it. Edureka will be providing you all the prerequisites, all the things. You tell them, I do not know Linux, can you help me? Yes, Edureka will say thumbs up, and they will provide you all the assistance to learn even Linux command. The simplest to simplest thing, you even do not know how to create a file, Edureka will help you. So this is how Edureka is helping in your prerequisite. So we literally mean that there is no prerequisite. If you know Java, Scala, and you have familiarity with Linux command, it's good. But if you do not know, doesn't matter to us. We will train you in all the aspects. So when you join our courses for Hadoop and all, you are not only learning Hadoop, but you are also learning a lot of different things along with it, which are very important from a developer perspective. Moving further. Now, what are all the things which is a part of this course? In curriculum, we talk about Hadoop architecture, HDFS. We will be talking about MapReduce framework. We will be talking about Pig, Hive, HBase, Flume, Scoop, Uzi, processing distributed data with Apache Spark. All these things is a part of our curriculum. So we will be doing all this part in detail. We walk over each topic, go not only just the basic part, we go deep over in each topic and just understand each and every concept. Not only this, in fact, after each of the part, we have lot many assignments, we have lot many use cases which helps you to understand each component in a better way. Moving further, what are the things you can expect from this course? What are the things you will be learning from it? You will be mastering the concept of SDFS and MapReduce framework. You will be understanding the architecture for Hadoop 2.x as well as for Hadoop 1.x. Why Hadoop 2.x is better? Why not Hadoop 1.x? What were the flaws with Hadoop 1.x? Everything you will be learning. Then how to set up the Hadoop cluster, how you can write the MapReduce program. You will be learning how to load the data ingest phase, right? Scoop and Flume. How you will be performing your analytics with Pig, Hive, and Yarn by using Yarn. How you can implement your HBase and MapReduce integration. How you can schedule jobs using Uzi. What are the implement best practices for Hadoop development. You will also be working on a real-time project. That's something which is awesome as a part of this course. So we are not going to just leave you and say that, okay, work on this project and we are done. No, that do not work like that. We also walk you through project in the session itself so that you get a good insight of the project. And that project will not be just like a simple project where you just follow some steps and you're done. No, it will be a project which will be testing your whole skill set. Starting from MapReduce, then you will be using Hive, then you will be using Pig, then you will be passing the data with Scoop to your RDBMS system. So kind of a combination of all tools you will be using to build up the whole project solution. Awesome, right? You will be kind of whatever you have learned, you will see that in a practical term. And this is the right real-time use case problem statement what we work on. Question from Rohit. So we have dedicated modules for each tools and project. Yes, this is what we do. Then we will be learning how to work on RDBs in Spark. So like in Spark, how the things work. RDBs is a backbone of Apache Spark. What is all that, right? How this is important. Those things also we are going to cover in this particular course. Let's talk about some projects. Are we just talking about one or two projects? So when I say project, I'm not talking about this project which we are going to talk in the class. This is a very complicated and a very interesting project, but we make it very simple. By the end of the class, when we reach to this project, students say, oh, is it so easy? Why people say that this is so difficult course? I know what everything up. Now I know how to work on this thing. It's very easy. So, but here, once you complete that project from the course, are we done? No. Edureka will provide you another 6-7 projects to work on it. And are you left behind after completion of course? No. Support team is 24/7 dedicated. What they do is, they will assist you after completion of course, because you have worked on one project which your instructor have walked you through in the session. After that, you have to see whether you are able to work on different sort of projects on your own. So we will be giving you multiple 6-7 projects where we will be giving you complicated data sets. And those data sets will be kind of a real-time data set, like how companies are using those data sets. So very kind of real-time data sets what we will be providing. For example, we talk about weather applications. We are designing some sort of weather application where data is comprising of your information gathered from, let's say, reddit.com, stumbleupon.com, which are bookmarking websites. Okay, from there you're getting the data from XML formats and on. Now the problem statement will be given to you, like you want to analyze the data in Hadoop ecosystem in order to fetch the data into your HDFS, and then you can analyze it with the help of MapReduce, Pig, and Hive in order to find the top rated links. Let me give you a little bit brief about it. For example, let's say if you have, let's say, a website where people are coming and liking and commenting on your post. Now, how a company will decide that which one is a high priority link for me, which one is kind of like which link I should keep it first, which link I should keep it second, in terms of the popularity, which should be more popular, how to compute all that. So these are the kind of projects we will be providing you. Now, if you are stuck at any moment while working on the project, you have to just drop an email or call us. That's it. The TA who will be talking with you, the support team who will be interacting with you, they are highly technical guys and they will be assisting you with all your project solution. They will be guiding you across. It's not like they will spoon feed you, but they will say, okay, this is the problem. Can you try this? Can you do this? They will sit with you to solve your problems. They will not leave you unattended. If required, they may also make you in touch with the instructor who have taught you, and that instructor will also be guiding you to solve that project. So that's how we take care of that. We are giving the projects, but at the same time, how those projects will make you understand. Now, you may ask me why we are talking about projects. Once you work on the project, it makes your understanding more clear, which will help you to crack the certification. Let's talk about few more projects. Like we have customer complaints analysis. Like there are a lot of complaints coming from a company. You want to analyze that, see the number of complaints being filed under each product. You want to see from a particular location how many complaints are coming. What is the, can I group all those complaints or not? Will they help us if we get stuck in the project? Yes, Rohit. That's what I just answered. So they will be assisting you 24/7 on this. Our turnaround time is 24 hours, which we state, but usually it is like you put the query, see the answer within few minutes or within few hours. So the support team is really excellent, which will make sure that your experience is excellent, your learning experience is good enough that you just go ahead and crack the certification and definitely crack any of the high demanding jobs. Now, tourism. We have a project on tourism. So can you see different flavor of projects? Airline data sets. Now, this is a very interesting project where we will be giving you a real-time data set, and there will be a lot of information about flights. What is the arrival time, arrival delay? A lot of information will be there about different airports. After getting that all those details, you want to analyze it. You want to find the list of the airports operating in a country. What are the list of airlines having no stops, right? What are the countries or a temporary has the highest number of airports? Lot of analysis you will be doing with the help of big data tools what you have got. Now, those data will be so huge that it is not recommended to use the traditional tools. If the data is huge, you should be using Hadoop tools, big data tools. How to use all that, how to leverage all that, we will be doing, you will be solving it with respect to your airline data analysis project. Analyzing your loan data set, which will be related to banking and finance domain. Here the data will be also available for you, where you will be finding the number of cases per location. And can you categorize the count with respect to a reason for taking loan and display the average score? Because it's very important for bank not to give the loan to everyone, right? Because what about if he becomes a defaulter tomorrow? I don't want to take that risk. So bank will never take that risk. So they will analyze your application with the respect of all the data what they have available. All those things you will be analyzing when you will be working on this project. Projects are not getting over, right? So many movie ratings. If you are getting so much of movie ratings from previous all years, like how IMDb is using it, very similar kind of simulating problem statement or what you will be solving. So with that, like you can give recommendations, you can be saying that how many people have rated what kind of movies. If a person is liking this, what is the analysis for this person for another movie? How people, how many number of users have rated the movies below this number or higher than this number? All those things you will be analyzing with this movie rating project. Very similar to our IMDb project, IMDb website, which is currently running. So you will be working on this part of this YouTube analysis, right? As you can see, number of projects what we have. Now, different categories starting from social media, airlines, medical, all type of domains we have. This is just to ensure that you can see different flavor of project so that you remain confident while cracking any sort of certification or job. Now, If we are given the data, you want to analyze the top 5 categories in which the most useful videos are getting uploaded, what are the top 10 rated videos, what are the top most viewed videos, and then remember, these are all happening on big data, not on small data. So definitely with traditional systems, you can solve this problem easily, but how with big data we will be solving it? So those things we will be solving with this project. So many things, right? So let's talk about administration certification training. Now, what exactly is a part of administration training? Now, in this case, there will be kind of, again, no prerequisite. If you know Linux, it's all good. But if you do not know, doesn't matter. We are there to help you in this domain as well. You will be learning about understanding of big data, Hadoop 2.x version, Hadoop architecture, how you will be creating a cluster, how you can administer your cluster, how you will be understanding MapReduce programming, your backup, recovery, maintaining your cluster, how you will be planning and managing your cluster, what are the features available in Hadoop, how you will be setting up Hadoop with high availability, means if the name node is down, then how you will be making sure that another name node should come up, how you can upgrade your Hadoop. Let's say you're using Hadoop 1.x, now you want to use Hadoop 2.x, how you can do all that. You will be working on a project here as well, where you will be setting Cloudera manager, you will be setting a cluster, you will also be seeing how you can provide security by using Kerberos. Moving further, you will be, and what are the course objectives? You will be understanding the Hadoop architecture, your HDFS, Hadoop cluster, what is the Hadoop administrator role overall, how you can plan and deploy a Hadoop cluster, how you can load the data and run your applications, how you can configure and performance tuning, how you can provide, how you can manage, maintain, monitor and troubleshoot a Hadoop cluster, how you can provide security to your cluster, your backup, recovery, how you can get insight out of Hadoop 2.0, name node high availability, your federation, Yarn, MapReduce version 2, your Uzi, Edge catalog, Hive, HBase administrator, and how to work on a live project. You will be learning all this portion. These are the objectives. Again, there will be projects here as well. Like you will be setting up a project with a single node, 2 node cluster with all the daemons running. When I say daemon, you should be setting up name node, data node, resource manager, node manager, secondary name node, all those things you will be setting up. You will be seeing that how you can change the block size, 128 MB is the default. If you want to change it, how you can do that. Now, how to write a namespace ID on a cluster. What is this namespace ID? How you can play with that, how you can set up the quota for your cluster, how you can use this cp command to copy the data to the same cluster or to a different cluster. All those things you have to do as a part of this project. Similarly, there will be few more projects where you will be asked to save the namespace in the name node without using secondary name node. This is very interesting project. And you can ensure the edit file merge without stopping the name node daemon. So if scenario is given to you, you need to solve that up. How you can set the include file so that no other node can talk to the name node. So I don't want, let's say, some other node to talk to the name node. I want to provide the security, how I can do all that, how you can set the rebalancer threshold to 40%. All these things you will be learning it, and then you have to implement it as a part of your project. This is a very interesting project. Third training. This is the very hot topic these days. Apache Spark certification training. When we talk about Apache Spark certification training, now generally what happens in this training is, again, there is no prerequisite. No prerequisite. Just do not go with this. There is definitely no prerequisite. We take care of each and everything. We first teach you with the Scala environment because this course is designed for Scala programming language. So we will be teaching you with respect to Scala programming, how to, you will be learning about that Scala. Usually in my training classes, I also teach with Python because in certification, Python is also required. How you will be writing complicated code in Scala, object-oriented programming, how you will be doing functional programming in Scala, how you can perform common operation in Apache Spark. how you can play with RDD. RDDs are backbone of Apache Spark. So what is all that RDD? Why Apache Spark is said to be better than Hadoop system? All those things. How you will be working with Spark streaming, your machine learning library MLlib. Now, what is Spark streaming? Right now with Hadoop systems, you're working on batch data. When I say batch data, you're working on historical data. But let's say I want to now work on a real-time data. Means as and when the data is coming, I want to process it immediately. That is done with the Spark streaming part. Let's take an example of banking domain. Now let's say you have just swiped the card right now in India. Now within 10 minutes your card is getting charged in US. Definitely this is not possible. So the bank should immediately sense that there is a fraud happening, and in that case they should immediately stop their transaction and confirm it from you whether you are really doing the transaction or is it some sort of a hack happening. So if they use the batch processing, this kind of analysis cannot be done. But if we are doing the real-time processing, this all would be possible. So this is all possible with the help of Spark streaming. Your graphics tools where, let's say, how Facebook is recommending your friends, how Google is deciding the page rank of the page. Spark SQL, similar to Hive, but it is much faster. Performance tuning, this is very important. This is what distinguishes a beginner developer of Apache Spark with an experienced developer of Apache Spark. Whenever you create a Spark application, how you can improve the performance out of it. All those things is a part of performance tuning. And in the end, we walk you through a complete project on Apache Spark. So what are the course objectives? To understand Scala, you can also add Python to it and its implementation. Master the concepts of scalar programming. You need to know how to install Apache Spark from scratch. No need to have any knowledge of it. We also teach you how you can install Scalar Spark basically in your cluster from standalone. Now, what is the role of Spark RDD? How to use this yarn? How to use this cluster manager? What is the role behind it? Spark streaming. This is very important. We have just seen how to implement the machine learning algorithm by using Spark MLlib, analyzing Hive and Spark SQL architecture, understanding the graphics API, implementing broadcast variables and accumulators. These are used for your performance improvement. So you will be learning about all these things in detail. Question from Jen? So we need to learn 2 courses from Edureka to clear CCA 175. Yes. Because these exams are in a way, we cannot combine both the courses because they solve 2 different purposes. And that is the reason you need to know these 2 courses to crack it. But for data analysis and for this 2 courses are enough even for data analysis. Because for data analysis, just the Hadoop developer course is good enough. You need not know Spark course for that. Okay. Now, moving further, here also we have projects. Now let's say if you have to design a system to replay the real-time replay transaction in SDFS using Apache Spark. This is a project like this. You can say Walmart stores. You can see a Walmart store. Now in that Walmart store, let's say what is happening is Rohit is having clicked because of my mouse. I was clicking the mouse to click that. So that's the reason you must be seeing that, Rohit. Okay. Now, I just now not seeing the mouse now. Now, in Walmart store is a physical store, right? Now, at every second there is a sales happening at different store. How you can get all that data in your Hadoop system? You can do your analysis using Apache Spark in memory and do some you doing some analysis. You are representing that data in your UI. How you can do all that part? So it will be a combination of Spark streaming and all those stuff. We will also be using Kafka here. So all those things how we'll be using. So this is a part of this project. Similarly, if there is a company who is checking in roaming what are the call drop ratio, right? How much call drop is happening, because they want to make sure that they do not, those customers should not get upset and leave the part. So those things are important and this will be done as a part of project 2, and you have to solve it again by using Spark. Data analytics with R certification training. This is important because here you will be getting an introduction to data analysis. You will be learning about R programming. These days R programming is becoming very popular because R is free, plus it is very, very strong. That is the reason a lot of companies are preferring to use R, because the major reason is other softwares like other frameworks and softwares like SAS, SPSS, they are highly expensive in nature. To get a simple license, if you want all the functionality, you may have to spend in crores to get the license per year. Now R is free, providing with the same power. Why a company would prefer to go with such a high payment in SAS or SPSS? So that's the reason R is getting very popular to be used by analysts. So you will be learning about that, how you can do a data manipulation in R, how you can import the data techniques in R, how you can perform all your data analysis, how you can visualize the data in R. That will be a graphical thing. So you using graph, you can visualize the data very easily. What are the clustering techniques? What are the association rules, mining and collaborative filtering, your linear and logistic regressions, ANOVA and sentiment analysis, data mining, how you can have decision trees, random forest. All these things are in detail of this. Again, the course objective, you will be understanding the concept around business intelligence and business analytics. You will be exploring our recommendation engines by using some algorithm like association rules. Now, recommendation engine is very important to understand because a lot of companies are using it, like Amazon, Flipkart, they have their own recommendation engine. How you can use that, how you can explore all that knowledge, you will be learning from here. You will be knowing some machine learning techniques like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, some advanced algorithms like ANOVA, decision tree, logistic regressions, support vector machines, enable techniques, how you can create different kind of fancy plots, how you will be working on a real-time project with respect to whatever you have learned. Again, there will be some interesting projects in this section, like you will be analyzing the Twitter data to do some sentiment analysis. Let's say a sports company is planning to brand themselves. They want to get famous by putting their company logo on the jersey of an IPL team. Now they want to evaluate with different teams of IPL with respect to the social media popularity. So they will be checking all this IPL, all the teams available in order to see that which IPL team make more sense for them, which will be best for them in terms of their pricing part, in terms of what the advantage they're going to get with that. So they will be doing all that with the help of Twitter data. Because whenever any match happens, people tweet on Twitter, right, with the hashtag. So using those hashtags, they will be doing some analysis and then deciding which IPL team they should be going for. So how their advertisement, what is the impact of their advertisement happening even after when they have applied that advertisement. Now all those things will be analyzing in this project. Similarly, for data analysis, for your government data sets, for example, we can talk about they want to, let's say, see their tax, income tax department, they want to check something. Especially in India, you might be knowing after this cashless economy, Indian government is running behind the cashless economy. They're trying to catch the defaulter loaners, right? Or the defaulters who are not paying the test. All those things, how we can do it is, this project will give you a good idea about that, how you can use different tools what you have learned from the R and how you can use it. Data science. This is a little advanced level of the previous course. In this, we will be talking about data science, how you can extract the data, how you can explore the data, how you can wrangle with the data. You will also be getting introduced with the big data and Hadoop environment. You will be learning about Apache Spark, machine learning, clustering techniques, data mining, classifications, recommendations engine, machine learning recursion methods, time series analysis, and in the end there will be a project. So this is one of the very interesting part because this helps you to crack even understand the machine learning portions out of it. You will be gaining the insight into the role which is played by a data scientist. You will be learning how to analyze the data using R. Again, in this course also, we will be using R, but it is a kind of little ahead course from the previous course. So you will be understanding how to use now that R to perform advanced things. That is what the purpose of this course. But if you do not know R, we will be providing you enough insight to go with it. But definitely it is recommended you first take the R course, then this course. But if you still do not know R or you have very little knowledge in R, we will train you in R as well in this course. You will be understanding a data analysis life cycle. You will be working on different sort of data sets like XML, JSON, SAS, SPSS, CSV. You will learn the tools and technique for the data transformations. You will be learning data mining techniques and implementation, how you can analyze the data, how you can use machine learning to analyze the data in R, how you will be working with Hadoop mapper and reducer when you apply for the map reduce part, how you can implement the machine learning algorithm in Apache Spark, how you can get insight in terms of the data visualization and optimization techniques, how you can you leverage the parallel processing feature in R. Lot of things are available as a part of this. Again, airlines data, but in this you will be doing little more. In this case, let's say if I give you the airlines data and I ask you to predict now. So you will be predicting like how that will this airline is going to be delayed now. Now with the help of previous data, you will be able to predict the future task. For example, let's say I give you the old data. Now our airline is supposed to now land in some city. Now I want to predict that whether this airline is going to be delayed or will it be before the time or on time, and that too with all the details. What is the percentage probability to get all that? So all those predictions you can do with this project. Stock market prediction. Now this is interesting, right? If you can do this, you can become rich. So we are giving you an insight how companies like Tower Research, Goldman Sachs are doing that. Why they are paying so high to their employees? They are the highest peer in the market, right? So why they are doing that? They are using R to analyze. They have created smart machine learning algorithms using which they are predicting that this stock can perform better, this stock can perform bad in near future. So how they are designing all that, this project will give you a little bit of insight on that. You have Twitter data. Now with social media data, you want to analyze something from that so that you can perform some marketing analysis and all. So that will be done with the help of this project. Similarly, we have recommendation system project on e-commerce side, how Amazon, Netflix, Flipkart, all they are creating this recommendation engine and getting some more insight. In fact, there's a famous blog by Amazon where they have claimed that this recommendation engine has helped Amazon in gaining 60% more profit. This is actually a very big number for a company like Amazon. So how they are using all this part, you will be gaining this insight from this project. Similarly, we have some gains project from Enfield Data Analysis. You will be solving with this part. Now, how you will be able to crack Cloudera certification with Edureka courses. Now, if you see this Spark developer, Spark and Hadoop developer, you need to know Hadoop certification training, Spark certification training. If you want to crack administrator, you need to just sit for administrator, Hadoop administration certification training. If you know Linux administration, it's all good. But if you do not know, it is not a must requirement. But if you know it, it will be all good. For data analyst part, you need to go with data analytics with R certification training and big data Hadoop certification training, because it's a kind of mix up thing. When we talk about data engineer, you need to take data analyst with R certification training and big data Hadoop certification training. When we talk about the data scientist, which carries 3 exams, you need to know data science, you need to go with statistics essentials, you need to go with big data Hadoop certification, data analytics with R, and machine learning with Mahout certification training. So if you have taken that, you will be easily able to crack all this certification. And this is the secret recipe of all the previous students who were able to successfully crack the certifications. So they have taken all this course, they have followed up all this part, and Edureka has helped them in getting all those certifications, which in turn, which will give you a better job opportunity. What are other certifications? Like these are we have just talked about, but there are a lot other certifications with Edureka as well. Like if you want to go with Java, we have Java J2EE, SO certification, Kafka certification, MongoDB certification, Cassandra certification, Embari, Storm, MapReduce, Pig, Hive, HBase. So they are like separate trainings. So these trainings are also available with us. Now, if you want to go even for other, like if you, some people say that I want to do Sun Certified Java Developer, a lot of people are able to crack it by taking Java course from them. This is all the things which I wanted to talk from my side. I hope that this is helpful. Please ask your questions if you have any doubt with respect to any certification part which I discussed. Feel free to ask me your questions. Queen is saying, now I'm pretty clear how to approach for certifications. Thanks, Queen. That's the purpose of it. So Edureka courses will be enough for Cloudera certification. More than enough. More than enough. These guys ask for 70%. I can promise you, if you do these certifications properly from Edureka, you can easily crack 10 out of 10. Okay, you can easily do that because these exams are not like very complicated. They're just very simple exams. You need to be very good with basics, and that's where Edureka fits in to solve your problem. Any other question from anyone? When are the batches schedules? We have batches schedules in all the time slots. So some people say that we are good with weekend morning. I'm good with weekend evening. So the Edureka have slots for the morning people where the sessions happen at 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. IST. There are people who want to go for the evening sessions. For them, we have sessions at 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. IST. This happens for the weekend people. But some people say that I want to keep my weekend free. I want to do only on weekday. We have event classes for them. We have on weekdays, Monday to Friday, which will be happening from morning 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. This usually suits for all the people who are like, who need to just, who can take the class and just rush for their office hours. And similarly, during the evening hours also we have for 2 hours, which is basically for the people who just want to come back from office and do it. So this is how we have designed it. So we have slots for weekdays as well as for weekends. And there are multiple batch running. You can just get in touch with the support team. They will be assisting you with all the scheduled batches timing. Is there any certification exam that you have to clear in Edureka course? In order to get Edureka certification, you need to solve all the assignments. You need to also submit your project. That is what you need to crack. So we ask for the certification. You will be getting the certification after completion of your projects. And those projects are more than enough to actually help you with the Cloudera certification. Because if you are able to crack our projects after completing the course, trust me, you can easily solve 10 out of 10 questions in Cloudera. Should I first go for CCA and then go for CCP? That's the recommended approach. So weekend and weekday both? Yes, go ahead. So we have batches in weekend as well as weekday, morning slot as well as evening slot. Both the timings are available with us. Any other question from anyone? Feel free to put the questions, any feedback you have, any sort of general query. What if I miss one class? No problem. You will have all the video recording. Second interesting thing with Edureka. Let's say you have taken a course now. You have lifetime access of that course. You may want to review that course. Maybe after 6 months, maybe after 1 year. Just give a pause to Edureka support team. They will put you in some batch. Maybe when the time you have taken the course, Hadoop 2.x was there. After some time, the Hadoop 3.x came up, and Edureka has now converted their course to Hadoop 3.x. No need to pay again. You have already paid it. Just call support team. The same course you can just get enrolled and learn Hadoop 3.x. So it's a lifetime support for you. If you have query after 6 months, maybe you are working on a project, you got stuck, you need a help from Edureka team. I have taken the course 6 months back. Will I be able to ask the query? Why not? Just drop an email to support team. They will help you with the query as well. So this is how we provide the support. If you have missed one class, doesn't matter. You will have the recordings available for you. You can walk through them and that will assist you. If you have any problem, drop an email to the support team or you can directly inform the instructor. He will help you in understanding the concept. Any other question from anyone? Sounds great. Thank you very much for the session. It was very helpful. Thanks, Christian. Feel free to ask me if you have any other questions. So great. If there's no further questions, we can wrap up. So I hope you have found this session from Edureka helpful, and I hope you all will be able to crack the certification exam easily. If you already know that, if you have already taken courses from Edureka, feel free to go across and just crack it. If you want an assistance to crack this set, you just get in touch with the support team. They will assist you. They will guide you what you need to do in order to crack that. If you want more details, just feel free to get in touch with Edureka. If you take up the course, the way we have explained you what are the courses you need to take in order to crack the certifications, just follow that path and you will be easily able to crack the certifications. As I said, this certification keeps a very high value, and not only in getting the job, but also in getting a better job, means a better pay, right? So though you have to invest a little bit in order to crack the certification initially, but this will pay off in the near future. That's an advantage what you get when doing all this certification. So thank you everyone for patiently listening to us, and thank you everyone again once again. So I hope to see you in some of the Edureka batches. Maybe some of the people will meet me again. So I hope we will meet once again, our paths again cross. So again, thank you everyone. I'm just wrapping up the session now.
I hope you enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply to them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!